Hey guys, Lex here, back for some more of The Great Ace Attorney. Last time we visited Van Zeeks and our client. Today we're gonna investigate the crime scene. Alright, let's go. October 22nd, the Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Oh, the showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in these dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? Almost been trodden on 3 times too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Oh. Oh? What's that? You can hear voices from on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Right, I have it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah? Go on then, Inspector, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare you. If you want a bag of chips rammed down your throat. Oh, Grexy, what are you doing up there?
It's you here. You're here. Here you are, you. Here, your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. I'm far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable! I'll have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Till recently, he was suspended from duty, but it appears he's back in action now. Actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. So sorry? What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Really that troubling?
Measly $5. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? Stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Nerodo.
Well, hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is.
Have it back. I'll have to charge you for all the bit of bother. 3 bob.
This is Jean Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, Odo? Diver, pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? Want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? Assume you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't no way to talk to lady, Odo. After a year's long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective.
Really?
So you'll have to call me what everyone else does, Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions. I'll examine. What the hell is this?
Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just there.
Dropped or hid? What's this? Some part of a machine that exploded? Looks like a crossbow.
Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above the blast, perhaps. What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Mysterious contraption has been entered. Just carrying this around with me now. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid if a small fire like this would happen.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. Oh look, what's this? A piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. Very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think. Some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to have been charred as well.
That means something had to do with the explosion.
Let's make note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
Piece of green cloth. Crystal Tower. Certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition. It definitely is, being so tall with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits in the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that incident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. There's a 3-hour queue to go up on the balloon now.
Thunders must be very patient people. Yeah, they sure love their queues. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I spoke to just said.
Don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yes, sorry, it's about 9 meters. So you'll have been in more than a year, Bruno. It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yes, well, this thing is so tall that spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment's being conducted. Oh. Oh shit. 22nd of October. The Great Exhibition Grounds Experimentation Stage. So that's it. Is it the machine that blew up?
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share.
Seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that ended in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Oh look, Inspector Gregson is over there. Seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machinery carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Okay, let's go back down. It's in the stairs. Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently. Mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part is crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I?
Child when it suits you, you mean?
What I could tell, I think if you were to pull this lever... Stop! Don't touch that! That was practically instantaneous kinesis, that way you flew over just now, Grexy.
Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
So sorry, you could have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. We should be allowed to examine the scene. Listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted special suspension for scientific equipment act to blame. It's driving me party. SDFFSE. Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But allowed to just look, aren't we?
Yeah.
Surely that's alright, isn't it, Grexy?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. Please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Reno?
She really knows how to get what she wants. How do I get back? Up. Oh. How do I get back down? Actually, I want to move to prosecutor's office. Hey, Zeeks. Then here. Yeah, okay. Didn't finish investigating everything here yet, I don't think. Oh, there.
That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it, did, of course.
What, really? And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
He teleported! What's the wooden scaffold there for? The corpus. Our lads set that up after the incident happened. Get the body down, I think. Don't know really.
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah, got duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
His mind Gregson doesn't hear you say that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged the gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Or he just got blasted. Oh. I've been meaning to ask you for a while, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky?
Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up on one so much.
I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming in round flying objects to attack Earth.
What?
I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the great exhibition. This is it, Iris. It's happening!
It's not, don't worry. I'll explain it to all you later over a cup of tea, Reno.
Okay, and Is that all? Okay, now let's actually talk to Iris. I mean Gina. Talk to Gina. Let's talk to Gina. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I could go on like I was. Diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Jenny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it, couldn't it? Inspector Lestrade sounds like something out of the book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out the stops looking for him.
Oh, yikes. Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem. Nothing serious.
That's when Hurley approached Crixie and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of an apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson and brave.
Oh, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
A great detective loves digging for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, is there?
Oh, what, Bruno? What?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. Trial in which she was found not guilty, yet here she is still...
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? Touching the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Vodo.
If I did half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. It ain't done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Oh, that's true. Perhaps Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. So I ain't worried, I'm totally fine. Oh, it was out of this world it was. The brainy bloke pulled up a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experimenter yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny? Your own eyes? Yeah, of course, the boss is in charge, eh? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. It's going to take some getting used to.
All I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up on one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Oh, you're so lucky, Jenny! Yeah, I should join Scotland too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. So then where do I start?
No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see anyway. What I don't understand is this. If the mission exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way.
Was? How can it have been? Early after the whole machine blew up, no one could call this experiment a success.
Like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of smoke and a whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there on the scaffold.
Oh, what? Where all the glass is broken, you mean? That red smear?
Yeah, the cage what the victim got in the way to start with. It did get beamed through to the air or whatever and landed in all the way over there. But you see, it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I can tell you what, you can have this. It's the plan of experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, come on, I had 3 bob off here before, so first.
I thought it was 2. Yeah, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? The sketch of the experiment. Let me take a look at that. The angle's off, but whatever. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. What it's worth anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
Yes, naughty old Crixie ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned with your investigations?
Yeah, you're not kidding. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, ain't it?
Even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. But I've never heard of something like that before.
Thought I could have had him for dinner on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. Probably heard him giving me an earful about it down here, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair.
I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all the chips what make them so stubborn. Say something to him, Otto. Go on, see if we get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is?
We can try, can't we, Reno? Crixie will listen to us.
So, we stole evidence. Examine. See what this crossbow looking thing is.
I can examine it?
Come on. Oh. Ah, now there's some sort of lever here. It is a crossbow. Oh, what is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. Crossbow. So it was an assassin. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. But I was right. It's a sort of a bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring in 2 times out of 3. Fact, if I'd had one of these, maybe I could even beat Kazuma in Kyudo archery training. Oh. It's like you wind this round in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this in exhibition grounds. You and your firearms picking up. Always picking up weapons. Glue. There it is. Looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. Never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Shom's methods, I might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. The drawing must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Okay. Okay, now we go upstairs. Stairs lead to... We should go upstairs. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touching anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, yeah. I won't touch a thing, I promise. Please spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like Professor claims? Yes, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, sunshine. We were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal. Maybe we could answer that question. We can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly. That annoying, obstructive, flaming rules. Oh. Look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think. Did they shoot that through the crossbow?
Oh, it's a lovely one. The handle is the shape of the capital letter A.
It is. Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched it a teeny wee bit.
But Gracie, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Bruno found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Greggson's going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Poor Greggsy. Uh-oh. Sucks to be Greggsy. Hey, Ferris wheel. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see.
Oh, why?
Well, rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? It looks completely still. I didn't even notice it. Now I gotta edit that crap.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Let's see. Is that it? Is that Taj Mahal? There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the great exhibition grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Bruno? I do wish I could go see it. I present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I've written especially.
Huh.
And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some Baritsu master ninjas.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well, that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chamage top knot I could introduce you to.
Chamage, really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him, do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago. Yes. He hasn't. Rip. Is that it? Oh, wait again. Go up. The big beam. That amazing horn-shaped device pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of the thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think it's supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. It's set up to beam people to the crystal tower where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. It was as amazing as it looks. The accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
Well, that's true, yes.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? And balloons. So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating, temporary tadpoles.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please.
I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron, I guarantee that thing won't plummet to the ground. I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground as long as it doesn't explode.
Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Edit. Oh. Oh. Edit, really? Oh, okay, I have to talk. Government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. Government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. They can be the first to develop some new technology. It makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so any theories that brain have remain that they're legal property, as it were, right through developing it through to a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch the crime scene. Because the new I-Flatum Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the Yard. Forensic Investigation Team it's called. We've been relegated to keeping it guard. The Forensic Investigation Team? Any old fool could see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it's a scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Crexy. He's very head up, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having happy sunshine? It's a special dispensation for scientific equipment act.
Yes, I think I only mentioned that recently. The real twinkle in his eyes, I remember.
I'm sure he did, your ladyship, I'm sure he did, he passed, especially for the great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas for our inventions to some suits in the civil service. He gets a rubber stamp that's a guarantee of rights that remain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of carpenters, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like us. Thanks for that.
Oh, I'd love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's also fun.
It might be fun for you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government-provided ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Scientist gets funding? Exactly. That's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So, you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science, hang it.
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Airbrain. Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education, it turns out he was at university with someone we both know, Lord Van Zieks. What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zieks means the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed, because the Reaper will get him one way or the other? Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? Mystery. The victim of the case, the investor Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Yeah. Lauren Barrett Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. That's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspect Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation. The conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. If I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrained mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. You what? Said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Where do we go now? Right, are you done here, Mr. Naruto? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. You're allowed here now.
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute too.
Oh dear. Poor Grexy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Yeah, the hit spot. Yep, hits it every time. Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. Looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least.
I've been thinking. Shirley might know something, might he?
About what?
About the Reaper.
What happened to Lord Van Zieks, you mean? It sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Is he part of the investigation?
Here, this is what you need.
Madam Tuspels. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tuspels. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. You go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
really told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Renault.
Madame Tuspels. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then, stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Alright. Alright, Museum of Interesting Waxworks. Do I have time for this? Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end the episode here, and then next time, we'll continue on to Madame Tuspels. Thanks for watching, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and see ya. Bye!